Little disclaimer, please don't harass any of these people. Thank you.
So, not that I really record videos and shit, but it's a little thing I wanted to talk about, that being, and no, it's not gonna be about any controversies, or no, it's not gonna be about any of that, all that shit. It's just gonna be about, one of the newer, quote-unquote, big updates they did. That being the guest, quote-unquote, rehaul. There is a lot of changes in it, and one of them were pretty detrimental in terms of what they call a rehaul. So, that being, of course, his block. So, what does it do now? Block now only successfully blocks basic attacks, including Eviscerate and any other M1 extensions, which could be talking about Raging Pace. Successful blocks now grant 10 permanent stacking overheal. That's great. Block an ability that isn't an M1 will cause it to break, but the hit's damage will be reduced by 40% and guests will gain resistance 2 for 3 seconds afterward. Now fully resets the cooldown of Punch upon a successful block. Movement speed reduction is now reduced from 80% to 50, which is pretty good. Cooldown is also reduced to 24 seconds. Now, this all sounds pretty good, except, the very glaring issue that he can only block M1s. He can no longer block anything from Slasher. He can no longer block any dash moves, which is a topic later, but this is kind of weird. Now, all the other changes, we'll just gloss over them. Charge will not slow down you or the killer, and it won't apply helpless, which is, I guess it was more like a quality of life thing for killers, I guess. But then there is Punch Parry. No longer requires a charge to use at all, so you can just punch, but it doesn't stun, it only knocks them back a little bit, and gives helpless and slowness to you for 2 seconds. It's the windup has been decreased to 0.6. Regular punch no longer grants resistance on cast, so you will take full damage, which kind of sucks. It can no longer pierce, which means it will only deal 1 hit. I'm pretty sure this was just to address the issue where if you had a punch stored and Cool Kid summoned his minions, you could just from there kill the minions and also stun him, which was kind of crazy. But the parry knockback has been significantly increased. This is the crazy part. The parry punch stun has been reduced from 3.5 seconds, which is kind of like the baseline for most stuns, apart from Chance, the highest being 4, to 2 seconds. The cooldown from it from 10 seconds has been 60 seconds, and is no longer able to interrupt other abilities. Which kind of means,
I don't know what that means, actually.
But, yeah, after glossing over it, you can kind of see it's a little bit iffy now. Everything else is kind of, I guess, fine, except the stun duration. 3.5 seconds, which was pretty good, to 2. This is not including the, this is not including where if there's multiple sentinels in one game, your stun duration will be decreased. So let's say on an average comp team there is at least 2 sentinels to my knowledge. So instead of 2 seconds, if my math is correct, 2 seconds is now 1.75, which doesn't sound bad, right? Oh, it does sound bad because 1.75 is terrible. 2 seconds itself is also terrible. So this is not including any of the stuff with the Sentinel stun reduction. So you can kind of see why most people got mad. So and then back on topic for block, where they removed literally 75% of his parry opportunities and just called it a day. That's it. And also, I would like to point out the fact I got into an quote-unquote argument with some of the tester, a tester, which was apparently the tester that mainly greenlit the whole thing. And that brings up another point. Why are they letting testers make changes to a survivor's kit? Just the testers. Now, I don't know if he worded it wrong, maybe that's not the case, But let's give them benefit of the doubt, and it wasn't the case. It was Hitoko also thinking with game balancers, and then also presenting it upon testers, which those testers gave their feedback, which then Hitoko went to the game balancer, the game balancer saw it, and they all decided to do stuff. But if we don't give them that, that is just stupid. Like, why would you ever let a tester for the game just go ahead and, hey, let's change an entire Survivor's kit, all of the testers, which is pretty insane. Let's see if I can find the tester that I was talking to. Wood Boys. They pushed for the changes made to guests heavily. This was on the 18th of May. And this is a pretty weird... Also, I got into the quote-unquote argument. Pan-fried blob on a stick. Pretty big argument. Let's see, man. Yeah, this was my first ever message. Oh, yeah. So I said something, yeah, let's make guests less of a tank and also have less opportunities to protect teammates. And I got some reacts off of that. And then this said tester, Wood, just said -5 nice HP. Which was, I guess, at a little jab at my less of a tank thing, which I guess is fair. But then I got a reply. Going a little bit down. I'm just speaking to myself. Actually, yeah, okay, I replied to them saying, doesn't excuse the fact they literally gutted guests and called it day. This was kind of like during the days, so we didn't really understand it. But now that we put it in more perspective, it's not quote-unquote gutted, but come on. Here we go. Also, you are a tester. You do not have any say in his kit. I can speak for all guest mates, including myself. This just makes him way harder to use than he already was. You can only parry M1s, not everything else. Like, I'm sure you guys see this issue, right? Either revert this or let him get his old parry. Now, here is a pretty good counter, like, not a counterpoint, a little point to this. Just bring back old parry, but he cannot block like dash moves, which means he cannot block walk speed override, he cannot block demonic pursuit, he cannot block void rush. Nosferatu's dive things, maybe not. Maybe not. If you notice just in time, it'll work. But that's just, again, that should just see how it works in game. So then I got a response from someone else called Expert Titanic, which is the head of forums, and I guess. And they said guess was not nerfed, which is a pretty weird thing. And there's this funny guy that actually kind of agreed with my thing. Do testers have input towards bailing decisions that aren't ignored? And it's just a clip where Family Guy fucking Consuela kicks out Brian. No. And then Pan-Fry decided to send me a screenshot talking about guests having 135 overheal, which this was kind of a bad thing because they actually changed it, so it's only up to 30. We're to change for him so he can farm gens again. I still see guests farming gens. I don't see the issue. Then I replied to the guy saying, the Expert Titanic guy, you're only able to parry M1 attacks, remove all potential to parry, not a nerf apparently. There's just a whole bunch of bickering. And this guy, Pan-Fry genuinely just hated my ass or something, dude. Like, anytime I brought up something like a point, I think you can guess what he had something to say immediately. Learn to read, jackass. His self-sustain is even better, which is true and not true at the same time. Let's say you're 40 HP and you're going against a cool kid. This is probably the worst thing because you have to either react block, which doing against cool kid is nigh impossible to do consistently. I'm not saying it's impossible to do it, but it's really hard to do it consistently. Or two, think, like, should I block here? Oh my god, I should block here. That is not a good way to make guest play out, where and all that stuff. It should not have to rely on paranoia. I should not have to be scared of when to do one thing. I'm just gonna get fucked. Now, of course, with the previous thing I mentioned, talking about where you can't block dash moves. So yes, this would be a case for Cool Kid where you can only block his M1. He's kinda good against Cool Kid. Now that with his charge, you resist all damage. So if you see a walk speed override, literally just charge into them, take the burning damage, which is kinda gonna hurt. Like maybe 7 damage or more. But then that's it. So more of this is more of like a rant, but you get the idea that this was probably the worst thing, not worst thing, like the worst way to rehaul guests. Like, I don't get it. Why are you rehauling guests in a way that changes his entire demeanor on how to play? Guest is supposed to go help people and not have to be paranoid all the time, which I will show a clip of my friend here with his paranoia instilled in when he was going against a slasher. See, look at that. He blocked because he was paranoid. He also forgot at this moment, I think that's what he said, that you can't parry the head. You can't parry gashing. You just can't parry anything from slasher. Okay, just to add on, hi, it's me again. My friend wanted me to point out that he's a guest main. He was almost never paranoid when he was playing him. He was only paranoid when he first started playing him, but the thing is, he's just not fun to play anymore, which I can totally agree. Guest is not that fun anymore. And you will have to rely on his M1, which again, if you're trying to react block, it's almost impossible to do it consistently unless you're a really good guest main. But literally, apart from that, it's really detrimental to it's really detrimental to noobs and also people that just play guest, not comp wise. Comp wise is a whole little new stack of marbles that I'm not gonna get into for this video. But yet again, holy shit! Like you're changing a survivor's kit in such a way that makes him really impossible to use, like to sustain yourself is butt. There's no sugarcoating it. It's just butt. Now I can see what they were trying to go for. They're trying to make guests more like, you know, get out there and help your teammates. You'll actually get rewarded. But this was such a horrible way to do it solely because of block. If they're just going to do this, they're going to quote unquote rehaul every survivor the same way they did guest. That is just not good game design. I don't know what else to say. Also, the fact that they're giving it to the hand that they just like, hey testers, new task for you, rehaul guest. Come to me at the end of the day, please. Like, what? That's just not good. I would never trust testers to rehaul their survivor kit. Like, I don't know, like, you must have insane trust for them to actually believe they won't do anything bad. But, oh, I don't know. So, where does this all conclude to? Basically, the guest rehaul is not a rehaul, and it is just a really bad nerf, just encased in something called a rehaul. This is just a, you know, like, lessen the damage of, yeah, we're fucking your block, but everything else is pretty rewarding, except block. Oh yeah, it gives 10 overheal. That'll totally outweigh the negatives, which it really doesn't. So, in my like idea, just bring back the old block, let him be able to block anything that is not dash related. A special case is Nosferatu's descend thing, but literally you guys decide on that. Other than that, just don't do this. Don't balance the character the same way, not balance. Don't rehaul his character the same way you did for guests. I kind of rest my case here. This is just horrid game design. I like everything else about the guest update. It's actually pretty rewarding to help a teammate. But it just sucks to self-sustain. even with the overheal, it's just bad. There's not much you can realistically do if you're the only one getting chased and you're low HP. Yeah, just react block. But if it's Jason or Cool Kid, genuinely just call it a match. Just call it a match. You're either gonna die or there's gonna be some Jane Doe like creeping across the corner, giving little resonance to the killer and also just killing them. Not killing them, but stunning them. That's it. You know, just yeah. Guess block his butt. Everything else is fine, I guess. Bye.